Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. You probably look at that air fryer sitting on your kitchen counter as this kind of magic box, right? You put cold food in, and crispy food magically comes out. Well, today we're going to completely flip how you see that appliance. By the end of our time together, you won't see a magic box anymore. You'll see a highly precise scientific instrument of thermodynamics.
Okay, let's jump right into our roadmap for today. We're covering 1. The physics of cooking. 2. How air fryers actually work. 3. The basket liner myth. 4. Is it actually healthier? And 5. Mastering the perfect crunch. So, we're going from abstract thermodynamics all the way down to practical hacks you can use for dinner tonight. Let's get started.
Part 1. The physics of cooking. We've got to start right at the foundation here, because honestly, cooking is basically just chemistry that we manipulate by moving energy around.
First up is conduction. Think of this as energy transferred through direct physical contact. Our source material has this great, vivid analogy. It's like a lover's body pressed right up against yours. In the kitchen, think of a hot dog sitting on hot metal grill grates. The heat moves directly from the metal to the meat, branding it with those perfect grill marks. If they aren't touching, conduction just isn't happening.
Next, we have convection. Sticking with that same analogy, convection is like someone blowing gently in your ear. Energy is being carried to the food by a fluid. And yes, in physics, air, water, and oil all count as fluids. It's basically wind chill in reverse. Moving warm air actively blasts away that stagnant, cold air bubbles surrounding your food, transferring energy way faster than still air ever could.
The third method is thermal radiation. This is like feeling someone's body heat under the covers without actually touching them. It's a transfer of heat through direct exposure to light or infrared energy. If you've ever felt that direct, intense punch of heat from a glowing red toaster coil, or gotten a sunburn from the sun on a hot beach, you've experienced thermal radiation. It's powerful, it's direct, and it doesn't even need a fluid to travel through.
Now here's a really interesting distinction that trips people up. Temperature versus heat. We use these interchangeably all the time, but they are totally different in physics. Temperature measures the average energy of each atom, while heat is the total energy combined. Think of it like this. Temperature is like the average family income in a country, but heat is the total economic wealth of the entire nation combined. This is exactly why 200 degrees of air transfers way less heat to your food than 200 degrees of boiling water. Water's denser. It holds a lot more total energy.
Section 2. How air fryers actually work. So, stepping away from general physics, let's look at the appliance itself, which, spoiler alert, isn't actually a fryer at all.
So what is it? It's a high-intensity convection oven utilizing a really clever process called rush, or radiant upstream heating. You've got a heating element near the top pumping out intense radiation, combined with a fan that whips that hot air rapidly around the cooking chamber. You see, boiling oil gets food crispy because it completely surrounds it in a 360-degree bath of intense heat. Rush mimics that exact 360-degree environment, but uses high-speed air instead of liquid fat.
And this high-velocity convection is the real secret sauce here. It forces 300 to 400-degree air across your food at speeds topping 120 feet per minute. That is incredibly fast. That extreme wind rips away surface moisture instantly. And because the moisture evaporates so quickly, the Maillard-Browning reaction, that magical chemical collision that gives a seared steak its amazing crust, kickstarts way faster than it ever could in a normal convection oven.
Moving on to Section 3, the basket liner myth. We have got to clear up a massive misconception that is literally ruining meals right now. The idea that parchment paper or silicone basket liners are just harmless little time savers.
Crunch is not subjective, guys. It is a highly measurable acoustic snap. Look at the data here. A bare basket gets a peak crispness score of 8.6. But the second you drop in a perforated parchment liner, that score plummets to a 6.1. And using foil, an abysmal 5.3. By blocking that rapid convective airflow from hitting the bottom of your food, you're destroying your peak crispness by up to 35%. You are basically throwing a roadblock in front of the exact physics that make the machine work.
To really anchor this, let's look at what Dr. Lena Cho from the University of Guelph's Food Engineering Lab says. She notes that liners completely disrupt the core physics of air frying, which rely on rapid convective heat transfer across direct metal-to-food contact. If you want a loud, satisfying crunch instead of a soggy piece of food, you absolutely must leave that basket bare. Liners just insulate the base and scatter the airflow. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking, but the cleanup. Since you shouldn't use liners, try this 85-second evidence-based cleaning protocol instead. Wash the basket while it's still warm. Not hot, just warm. Give it a rinse under warm water, scrub it with a nylon brush, and apply a teaspoon of dish soap mixed with a half cup of vinegar. Let it sit for just 60 seconds to break down the grease, and then rinse it out. Easy! And whatever you do, please never use steel wool. It literally scratches away the non-stick microtextures that actually help your food brown evenly.
Section 4. Is it actually healthier? This is the crucial point, right? Does this intense convection oven actually give you measurable health benefits, or is it just marketing hype?
85%. That is the maximum reduction in added oil you can achieve compared to deep frying. Because the forced air dehydrates the food surface so fast, the starches and proteins polymerize and harden on their own. You get that amazing, highly desired crunch without needing a massive bath of liquid oil to get you there.
Even crazier, you get up to a 90% suppression of acrylamide. Acrylamide is a probable human carcinogen that forms when starchy foods are cooked at super high temperatures. Because the air fryer tightly controls surface temperatures and cooks things so quickly, it massively drops your exposure to this compound.
But listen, it is a precision tool, not a magic health button. It is definitely not healthier if you're just heating up ultra-processed frozen foods loaded with sodium. Plus, you have to be careful with certain ingredients. If you push fatty fish like salmon past 325 degrees, the intense heat will actually oxidize those delicate, healthy omega-3s. And leafy greens, the forced convection totally destroys their folate content. Oh, and skip high-moisture fruits entirely, unless you want a steaming, soggy mess at the bottom of your basket.
Section 5. Mastering the perfect crunch. Let's finish up with some highly practical, science-backed protocols you can take straight into your kitchen today.
First up is the 3-minute pre-soak rule for starchy veggies like potatoes. Just soak them in cold water mixed with a tablespoon of vinegar for 3 minutes. This brief acidic soak lowers the surface pH, which actively inhibits the asparagine-glucose reaction. That's the chemical process that creates the harmful acrylamide we just talked about. It drops those levels by an amazing 68% while guaranteeing maximum crunch. Just make sure you pat them totally dry twice with lint-free towels before cooking, or you're just going to steam your food instead of frying it.
Next is the dual temp protein protocol. Stepping the temperature like this, starting low at 300 degrees for 7 minutes, and then cranking it to 400 for 3 to 4 minutes, preserves the muscle fibers so your chicken stays tender and juicy. And it protects the omega-3s in your salmon far better than just blasting it at a high temperature the whole time. You get a perfectly cooked center with a rapid Maillard crust on the outside.
Finally, let's level up with a few advanced culinary hacks. Try mixing avocado oil with some minced rosemary and misting it on your food. The carnosic acid in the rosemary literally reduces lipid oxidation by 55% under high heat. Next, try a 90-second rest. Mid-cook, pull the food out, let it sit on a wire rack to release trapped steam, then flip it. Pair those techniques with a 3-minute preheat of your empty bare basket, and you're getting professional restaurant-quality crispness right at home.
And that brings us to the end of our journey today, armed with the actual thermodynamics of rapid convection, heat transfer, and the literal chemistry of crunch. How are you going to reinvent your next meal? Seriously, I challenge you to ditch those liners, grab a thermometer, and experiment with your new scientific understanding of this incredible kitchen tool. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy scientific cooking.